It is Friday, March 20th, 2015, and this is Arizona. You probably couldn't tell because of this freaking thing right here. This is Phoenix, where we're at, where I'm at anyway, and you can actually see it out to the east. Here is, it's not severe warned, not yet, but it is a supercell. I can tell because of the way the anvil is back shearing on the thing and how it's really fanning out wide in front of the storm. And you can tell because of the way it's kind of shaped like that kind of bean shape right there. It's got rotation, and then it's got the rain shaft right there, and it's got looks like a flanking line of smaller storms building up to the north of it. And then there's another storm right here that's building up, and that one's pretty bad too. They're just kind of hovering around the mountains right now because we had some rain just the other day. It gave us about an inch when they weren't even expecting it. Very unusual for March, but we had this happen last year too, and we had a really wet spring, and it ended up giving us some of the most severe thunderstorms we've ever seen later in September that year. And it was so bad. We had a record over 6 inches of rain in some places, which set the record daily amount of rain for Phoenix ever seen, of course. Some of the highways in the Phoenix area here were under over 5 feet of water, and it was pretty bad. We've had some bad supercells within the past year, and we had a wet spring leading up to it. And since we're already seeing pretty good sized thunderstorms up in the mountains, we could have another wet summer. But yeah, I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is due east of where I'm at.
You said you saw him blade. There's intimidation.
Oh yeah. Just look at that. The ones that are building up right there, the flanking line. You can see the anvil really starting to take shape. It's got some bad updrafts in it. And then I don't know if you can see it right there, but that little bit where the clouds look really gray with those puffy clouds in front of it, that's part of the supercell that I just showed on radar. And the anvil really fans out wide in front of the storm. You can't even really see the cloud detail, like the billowing, towering structure of it that well. It just goes from being cirrus clouds to being thicker and darker as it gets towards the storm. And that is always the sign, a good sign of a really bad storm developing, when it has such a strong updraft that it smashes into the stratosphere and just fans out and makes high clouds. Yeah, it's already gotten visibly bigger since I came out here. Very unusual for this time of year, but last year, in 2014, during the spring, we saw some thunderstorms, and then it got really dry during May and June and July, but in August and September, we got some of the worst supercells that they've ever seen here. And they're saying the signs are in place that an El Nino could develop, and if it does, we're going to have higher than average rainfall. You can see barely just some more of the updrafts right there. Some more of the columns. We're staring right now into the main updraft portion of it, which is right here, where it's really dark. And then the forward flanking downdraft area. And it's starting to take a turn, so it's heading kind of southwest right now, but it's definitely going to miss Phoenix. Too bad. Love the storms here, but then again, we just got about an inch of rain maybe a day or two ago. It woke me up in the middle of the night. I'm surprised there wasn't any lightning with it. Yeah, that thing's really growing and changing a lot. There's definitely a lot of activity going on there. So yeah, supercells in Arizona and in March, during the time of year when it's supposed to be the driest. Very freaky weather. See what this thing is doing. I'm gonna refresh. Oh yeah, that flanking line's really getting big. It looks like a flanking line anyway, here there. It's just building up on the edge of the mountains. Yeah, there's mountains there, but either way, it's still a line. And that is our main supercell. You can tell the way it's kind of trying to break free from the others. I kind of figured this would happen because there's a lot more moisture in this area right now because of the rain. And supercells are weird because they actually act kind of like an engine. They don't die when they lose their inflow. They actually try to change direction and move to wherever the inflow is more moist and can feed it. So since the updraft is here and the forward flanking downdraft is over here, it's going to move in the direction of the inflow where it's coming from. So it means it's going to move more west. And in this case, it is, because you can see it was kind of moving south and then it took a turn. That doesn't really look like much of a supercell right there. That just looks like another pulse thunderstorm that's kind of building up where the mountains are, because when there's a storm developing in the mountains actually push the air up, and it causes them to become stronger. And if it becomes strong enough, it can begin rotating and form a vortex. And you get that bad supercell. So yeah, this is very freaky for this time of year. Arizona doesn't get supercells that often, especially Phoenix. Phoenix doesn't get thunderstorms all that often because we get the urban heat island during the summer when it gets really hot and there's not enough moisture to sustain the storm, so it just moves around us. But the only storms that are strong enough to actually come in are supercells usually. And when they do come in, they're very bad. We've never really gotten tornadoes. We got one back in the 1990s and one in Mesa. Maybe over a year ago, actually. It was March 1st, 2014, last year. We got a tornado in Mesa, and that was pretty weird. But this storm looks a little bit worse than the one that produced that tornado. It doesn't have as strong of a hook signature like the other one did. But yes, looks like a high precipitation supercell most likely. Let's check the rainfall. Weird. Huh, 1 hour total. It's down into the 1 range in some places. See what the base is looking like. Not very much rainfall actually at the base. Kind of surprising. But the composite of the actual storm higher up in the air is definitely supercellular. So yeah, very unexpected for this time of year. If any shit comes through during the summer, I'm definitely going to do some videos on that, because it can get pretty exciting here. Especially since it doesn't rain very often in Arizona, in Phoenix anyway. And Phoenix is probably the only place where I could say that a sunny day is bad weather, because we just get it way too much.